Hey everybody, welcome back to another Product Salvation Devlog. If you're new here, we're Whalestag Studio, an upcoming indie development studio, and we're working on our upcoming game, Project Salvation. I'm Jack, and with me today are my fellow developers, Hunter.
Salutations.
And Hailey.
Hey.
Today, we're going to be talking to you about something big. Our first demo.
Let's go.
So, I know, we got it all out. It was crazy. After months of work, we all came together through a lot of hard nights, 80-hour weeks in our normal jobs, and then 40 hours a week added on top of that, making this game, staying up till 3 in the morning trying to get this done, because
who needs sleep?
Yeah, not vampires. So we managed to get our demo out to Gamemaker Studio, and we submitted it for a competition. Hopefully we'll get selected tomorrow. And if not, we're going to be heartbroken, but that's fine. So, the major things that we're going to be diving in today is what was it like to bring this world to life, the biggest challenges that we faced, and some fun behind-the-scenes moments. So, first, we should probably talk about what actually is in the demo, right? This story takes place in a continent filled by civil war, and you are traveling across the continent to get to a kingdom in order to find an agent and hopefully bring the world back together. So as you're traveling through the Black Spire Hills, you will experience a small explorable area, a couple of levels big, a boss fight, some hidden rewards, and a short quest if you are in the mood for it. So I think we should probably break some of that down and see what it's actually like to make this thing, right? So, Hunter, you're in charge of coding and development and mechanics. Do you have any insight on what it was like to make this game?
Well, I started off doing a 50-part tutorial series, and that was a just huge asset. Seriously, Sarah Spalding's channel, it's a great way to learn Gamemaker.
Yeah, phenomenal.
It was a lot of hours just getting my feet wet, and it's super helpful though to get the foundations of the game. I would say though it still took probably 7 months of lots of tutorials and asking ChatGPT and Googling to finally get comfortable with GML. I'd had a little bit of background with Python and other things, but it definitely took a while to feel comfortable where I felt like I could spontaneously generate the code to come up with the things I needed to do rather than just always having to search for a solution. So it was fun though. It truly was a challenge to overcome and very stimulating. And there's a huge reward, I would say, when I figure out how to do something completely by myself in code, especially if it's some kind of complex mathematical formula or something like that. Yeah, so I would say just a lot of learning, a lot of humility, a lot of problem solving, and a lot of growth though.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Hailey, but I love getting the text at 4 in the morning where Hunter goes, I made bugs!
You're talking about good bugs, so we have, there's the bad bugs, aka game crashing errors, where
Oh, yes.
the number of times I would show my wife, just giddy with excitement, I just did this new feature, it's awesome, let me show you, and then as soon as it's about to start, it crashes. Those are the bad bugs, but then what Jack is talking about is that I went down this rabbit trail because I was thinking about, okay, we've got a forest. What makes a forest alive? Well, the bushes should sway, leaves should fall if you slash a tree or a bush, and there should be bugs. And so then I drew some ants and made it to where they randomly spawn if you destroy a plant or a rock, but that's too normal of an ant. So we need a Underdark ant and we need a fire ant, and if there's bugs, you should also be able to catch them. And so I went on this whole rabbit trail for days implementing a bug catching system, and you better believe we'll have a bug journal with all kinds of crazy D&D-esque fantasy bugs. So there you go.
Hunter, I got a question. Have you finished the lighting system yet?
Shut up. We're
Priorities,
getting there.
Jack. Priorities. So, Jack, tell us about those character portraits. Since we're throwing around jabs here.
Starting with Stardew Valley, because our Lord and Savior Concerned Ape, the developer, has done so much work by himself making this, and I wanted to learn from his style. So as I was copying some stuff down, I made one of the characters, Zora, look exactly like Elliot, and if you know, you know. And I was like, see, isn't this original? And everyone was like, no, you're just copying, man. So I threw all that out again. So now we're on second iteration, and I started making my my own kind of style. And it's like, okay, this is good. I kind of like this. And it was not good. Sea of Stars comes out. I'm like, oh, I like that pixel art. Let me try that. I tried my own version, kept trying to get some color palettes down, and things looked okay, but they never really sat right with me because I am learning through this process that I am a perfectionist. So I'm now on, I think, iteration 6 of drawing these character portraits. And as you can see in the video, I think we've come a long way. And I'm liking this direction that we're heading. It feels a lot more like I can stand behind my work and I can go, nope, I made that, you know?
Yeah.
So that's been a major hurdle, as well as trying to design all the environments in the game and making sure that, you know, cities work the way that they're supposed to, and forests look the way they're supposed to, water flows downhill, waterfalls, assets, all that stuff.
I just gotta say, anytime Hunter would be like, yeah, so Jack said he's gonna have to redo this entirely, I was like, put another coin in the jar. It was just hilarious, but is so real life when you're developing a game. Like, kind of the, let's not be afraid to have to redo something. You probably will have to redo something, but at the end of the day, if it's worth it, it's worth it.
And if it's a joy, it's not hard at all. Like, I love drawing, and this was such a great way to like practice my skills and hold me accountable to things, you know, like, nope, you're gonna make this yourself, no shortcuts. And I learned a little bit through that, and I think I'm gonna carry that into other art that I do now, you know, like not pixel art stuff, but, you know, more my classic stuff.
Speaking of that, so Jack, your style before this game has been much more photorealism. What has it been like learning the pixel style, not just for the portraits, but also making sprites?
Ooh, man. The main thing that I've learned is color palettes are huge, and the limitations of the pixel art style is that's where the art actually comes in. It's you have 5 colors, and you have got to make those colors work and create something and make it look like it's moving and all of that. And I'm trying to figure out how to actually do this instead of like having the whole breadth of color at my disposal and like being able to blend and, you know, classic painting techniques and all that. So it's been fun, but it's definitely been a shift. Hailey, you've been working on environmental stuff for the demo, right? What's a puzzle that you were like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted to make?
Probably the chasm. Yeah, we needed like more environmental puzzles and things like that. You just can't go wrong with a classic chasm. And we want the player in these games and stuff to not just be able to solve things one way. Let's give them a few different tools in their tool belt to see how they want to solve it and how they think to solve it. So like making sure to create space for creativity. And so with the chasm, it was like, okay, we're budding artists, if you will, in terms of like animating things and like how are we gonna do this without a really cool animation of some kind that, you know, takes us 3 months to make. You could teleport across, you could there was also a crystal, you could either shoot it with an arrow or you could teleport across and then hit it, and then it's like a bridge that juts out from the other side. That was really fun to like come up with, how do we make this happen where it doesn't look bad? Like, how do I create a puzzle with the least amount of demand on pixel art, if you will, for those things? So, and I think it turned out really well.
All right, so let's talk some challenges. Getting the demo out wasn't easy. What was the biggest obstacle that you think we faced?
Really just that even building a demo, you are building so much of the foundation of the game. There's way more to it than you would expect. Yeah, there's just a lot of different features, a lot of different elements. I mean, I think just in our demo, which is really, it's a I would call it a pre-production demo, because it's still not even a demo that is necessarily for the public. It's like for us as, the team to experience the game. It's a 30-minute experience, and just in that amount of time, I don't know how many lines of code, probably easily a few 100,000. There's over 1,000 sprites. It's just a lot of content. And so I think just building all of those foundational pieces, it just takes time. And again, we've mentioned it before, but for us, we all have full-time jobs and a lot of us have kids. And so I'm working on this after hours, and then I have the weekends if I'm lucky. Even then, I think I still spent an average of close to 40 hours a week in Gamemaker. I have no idea where that time came from, but yeah, so it's just a lot of time. However, I'm excited to see the exponential progress now that we've, built a lot of those foundational pieces.
That's it for this devlog. We had an amazing time working on the demo, and this is just the beginning of what we have planned. If you haven't played it yet, go check it out and let us know what you think. We'd also love to hear from you. So what's your favorite part of the demo so far? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to follow Project Salvation on YouTube, Instagram for more updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next devlog. Bye!